Everyone. So today we will be just going through the next third experiment, that is nothing but spring mass system. So everybody in the universe, whichever it may be, it is considered defaultly considered as a spring mass system, where it has its own property of elasticity called spring property. Nothing but it exhibits elasticity property, and it will be having its own mass that we term as spring mass system. And next, here we will be just going through spring mass system. So this is the spring mass system which we are considering now. So this is the spring where it has its own elasticity property, and here is one hanger which we are using. And for this hanger we will be using different masses, where we consider the complete mass including the mass of the hanger as well as mass of the nothing but the mass which we add for this system. So in this experiment what we will be doing is, again the end continue. So again the destiny or the end result what is required is to find the percentage error between the natural frequency which we get from theoretical as well as the natural frequency which we get through analytical, experimental. That is what we are going to compare in the end. But to get the natural frequency, there are some formulas and all which we'll be using. So for that, first we need to understand what is the stiffness of the spring first. So to get the stiffness of the spring, there is some method which we will be opting now. First, what we do is we will consider this tabular column, where in this what we will be doing is we will be putting some mass by the quantity of 0.1 kg first, and next we put 0.15 kg, next we put 0.25 kg. These are the different mass which we will be putting. But before putting the masses, we will measure the complete length of this from this point, that is pivot point of this spring mass system, to the hanger end. This is nothing but distance between support and hanger which we will be finding now. So I measure here. So this is the point where I am just suspending this spring mass system. Nothing but this is 29 centimeters. So we have written 29 centimeters, that is 0.29 meters. So after that what I do is there is a mass nothing but 0.1 kg I will be putting for this. So by putting that 0.1 kg of mass, there is some extra deflection which will be happening. So I will be measuring that. That is nothing but 36 centimeters. 36 centimeters is the distance now. Now you can see here D2 also we got, how we got, by putting the mass 0.1 kg, that is 0.36. Already you know D1, so the difference will be how much? Right. The difference is 0.07 meters is the difference. So when we got D, by using this deflection D, we will be finding the stiffness. Here is the formula to find the stiffness, that is K is equal to force upon deflection. What is force? We split here, nothing but weight. Weight can be split as mass into gravity and divided by D. So by substituting here, what we will be getting? So mass is 0.1 into 9.81 we need to do here, divided by 0.07. So the value how much we will be getting here is so the stiffness is nothing but 14 Newton per meter is the stiffness of this first mass. So similarly what we do is we are going to put the second mass, that is 0.15 kg for this, and again we will measure the deflection now. See, when I go on adding the mass, then what happens is, so now I will be putting the second mass, that is written there, that is 0.15 kg. After placing the mass, again we need to measure the deflection, that is delta, how much it is. So I am getting 38 centimeters. So already that is written here, that is 0.38 meters. Now we need to get the difference, that is d2 minus d1. So we will be getting 0.09. So by substituting again in the formula, that is stiffness is equal to mg divided by d. So we are getting 16.35 Newton per meter. So the unit of stiffness is Newton per meter. So for the third one, nothing but I will be placing 0.25 kg mass. So again I will be measuring the deflection here. So I am getting 45 centimeters. So the deflection I am getting is 45 centimeters, that is 0.45 meters. And now the difference again we need to write down, that is d2 minus d1. So we are getting 0.16 meter. See, all these readings are in meters. And now by substituting these values in the stiffness formula, we need to find out the stiffness now. So again I repeat, to find the stiffness, it is m into g divided by d. So we are getting 15.32 Newton per meter. Okay. And now after finding all these three stiffnesses, we need to take the average of these three stiffness. So average we are getting is 15.22 Newton per meter. Newton per meter is the average stiffness. So the question comes, why we are taking average, that you will understand in the next step. This is all about finding the stiffness now. So now the next comes is, you can just see on the, now in this is what you found out the stiffness in the first step of this experiment. In the second step we will be finding the frequencies, that is experimental natural frequency and theoretical natural frequency, which we need to find out now. So first is we need to find out frequency, that is in theoretical way, that is the formula is nothing but root of k average divided by m. So what is k average? This is the k average which we found out just now, divided by the mass. So this mass is nothing but the total mass which we need to consider. So the question comes, what is total mass here? Total mass is nothing but there is a hanger here. You can see here there is a hanger here and there is a mass which we have put here. So both should be added. So what, and we have measured the mass of the hanger also, and that is written, that is mass of the hanger is equal to 0.153 kg. So adding this with the mass which we added, that is 0.1 kg, we are getting total mass of 0.253 kg. Similarly we are getting for second and as well as for third. So now the next is we need to find out the number of time taken for 10 number of oscillations. So that we will find out for which mass. For this take time taken for 10 oscillations by putting mass of 0.1 kg. So I will give external excitation. So we will start now. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the time taken is 8.3 seconds. So now we will replace the mass. And now we have put 0.15 kg of mass now. And for this we will take time taken for 10 oscillations. So for this I will give external excitation. So start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the time taken is 8.8. seconds. And now we will put the third mass, that is nothing but 0.25 kg, and here also we will measure the time taken for 10 oscillations. So this is the external excitation which I had given. So we'll start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the time taken is 10.4 seconds. So after getting these times, nothing but time taken for 10 oscillations is 8.3, 8.8 and 10.4. Now by using those values and all, we will be finding the time period. So time period is nothing but time taken divided by number of oscillations. So by that we will be getting the time period, and by using this time period we will be finding the experimental natural frequency. So what is the formula? 2 pi by T. So by using all those values you will be getting time periods. So that time period you can use it and find out the experimental frequency. And similarly by using these values you will be finding the theoretical frequency. And substituting all these values here, you will substitute time periods here, you will be getting the experimental natural frequency as well as theoretical natural frequency. By getting these two, you will be finding the percentage error in the natural frequencies. So which one will be more and all that we will be finding out in the next part, that is calculation part, and we will be showing the calculation part of this first reading, and this second and the third reading error, percentage error you need to find out.
Hello students. So we have already seen the experimentation of the spring mass system. So here were the few observations while performing the experiments. The first one is the distance between the support and the hanger. We take it as D1 and that is 0.29 meters. Second is the mass of the hanger, that is without any weights placed on it, is m, which is 0.153 kg. So the mass of empty hanger is 0.153 kg. So with this observation, let us tabulate and perform the calculation to determine the natural frequency of the spring mass system experimentally and also theoretically, and compare the difference between them. So coming to the first table, so here we have serial number. This is the mass which we will be using. So we will have 3 masses. Then when each of this mass is placed in the hanger, what will be the distance of the hanger from the support is measured. Then the deflection is calculated, that is this length minus the observation which we have done, that is D1, will give us the deflection D. So similarly for mass of 0.1 kg, this is calculated. For mass of 0.15 kg, this deflection is calculated. For the mass of 0.25 kg, the deflection is calculated. Now what we need to calculate is the stiffness for when mass number 1, that is 0.1 kg is inserted, then when second mass of 0.15 kg is inserted, and the third mass when 0.25 kg is inserted. So let us perform this calculation. So here the calculation to find the stiffness K is given by F by D, which is nothing but mass into gravity, that is G upon D, which is also equal to weight upon D, Newton per meter. So we'll be using this M into G upon D to determine the stiffness. When first mass is inserted, that is 0.1 kg, we'll get the first stiffness, that is K1. So that is equal to M into G upon D. So here we have M as 0.1 into G is 9.1 and D we have calculated is 0.07. So when we simplify this, this will be equal to 14.01 Newton per meter. Okay. So this we shall note down in the table which we have put above. So here the first stiffness we put it as 14.01, which we have calculated. Now we shall determine this K for the second mass. So here we have the second mass as 0.15 into the gravity, that is 9.81, divided by the d value which we calculated for the second mass is 0.09. So when we simplify this, we get this K2 as 16.35 Newton per meter. So we'll note this in the table above. So for second mass it is 16.35. Clear? Now we shall calculate the stiffness for the third mass of 0.25 with deflection of 0.16. So here we have for the third mass m as 0.25 into 9.81, and the deflection we have calculated it as 0.16. So when we simplify this, we get K3 as 15.32 Newton per meter. So we'll now note this also in the table above. So here K3 for the third mass it is 15.32. So now we have got three stiffnesses for three different mass. So for this complete system we'll determine the average stiffness. So now let us see how to determine the average stiffness. So to determine the average stiffness, that is K average, it is K1 plus K2 plus K3 divided by 3. So we have already got these values. So K1 is 14.01. So let me write here 14.01 plus K2 is 16.35. 16.35 plus K3 will be 15.32, that is we have calculated. So 15.32. So this divided by 3 will give the average value of K. So when we simplify this, we get this as 15.22. Unit is Newton per meter. So this K average we will be using to determine the theoretical natural frequency. So now we'll come to the second tabulation here. So if you see this table again, it is similar to the previous experiment which we performed, that is simple pendulum and compound pendulum. So ultimately we are concerned about here is the time taken for 10 oscillation when different masses are inserted. So we have performed the experiment and we have got the time taken when first mass oscillates along with the hanger for 10 oscillation, then second mass along with the hanger for 10 oscillations, and the third mass along with the hanger for the 10 oscillations. So we get the time taken. So now what I will be doing is I will be just showing you how to calculate for one of the mass. So based on the similar calculations, you have to calculate for the other two mass also. Okay, so that you need to do it in your journal. So here first let us see for only mass number 1. So what is the time period? How to calculate the time period? Okay, so for the first mass, the time taken is 8.3 seconds and number of oscillations is 10, and time period is given by the time taken upon the number of oscillations, that is 8.3 divided by 10. So now let us see that calculation. So here we have time taken as 8.3 upon 10. So this comes to 0.83 seconds. So it is 0.83 seconds for one oscillation. So we will note down this time period in our table above. So this we get it as 0.83. So now we will calculate the omega experimental and omega theoretical for the first set of reading. So omega experimental is given by the equation 2 pi by t. So the same equation we have already seen in simple pendulum to calculate the experimental natural frequency. So this will be 2 pi and t we have already calculated, that is 0.83. So I substitute here as 0.83 in the denominator. So when I simplify this, I will get the experimental natural frequency as 7.57 radians per second. Also, I'll calculate the theoretical natural frequency, and both these values I'll note it down in the table above. So here the theoretical natural frequency is given as root of k average upon m. So we have already calculated that k average. So we substitute that k average in this equation. So we get root of, so k average is 15.22, which we have calculated, and m will be the mass plus the mass of the hanger, that is 0.253. So 0.253. So when we simplify this, we get it as 7.76 radians per second. So now if you notice here, it is 7.57 when it is experimental, whereas with theoretical it comes 7.76. The basic difference again here is because of the air damping that takes place during the oscillation. So now we shall determine the percentage error. So before we determine the percentage error, so let us note down these values in the table which we have placed or we have drawn above. So we have got the experimental value as 7.57 radians per second and theoretical as 7.76 radians per second. So now we'll determine the percentage error with respect to omega exp and percentage error with respect to omega theoretical. So here first percentage error with respect to omega experimental. So this can be determined using this equation, omega experimental minus omega theoretical upon omega experimental into 100. So this we have already seen in simple and compound pendulum experiment. So here I substitute this experimental values, that is 7.57 minus 7.76 divided by 7.57 into 100. So if you simplify this, you will get the negative. So don't worry about the negative. We are just concerned about the magnitude, that is the final answer, which is nothing but the percentage error. So when we simplify this, we get this error as 2.51%. Okay. So the percentage of error with respect to experimental natural frequency is 2.51%. So similarly, we'll also determine percentage of error with respect to omega theoretical. So again, with respect to omega theoretical, we have the equation omega th minus omega exp upon omega theoretical into 100. So here omega theoretical is 7.76 minus 7.57 upon 7.76 into 100. So let us simplify and find what will be this percentage error. So upon simplifying, we get this as 2.44%. So now let us note down these percentage errors in the table which we have drawn. So here the percentage error with respect to omega experimental is 2.51%, whereas the percentage error with omega theoretical is 2.44%. On similar lines, like how I have calculated the time period, the frequency, which is experimental natural frequency, theoretical natural frequency, as well as the percentage errors for the second mass system and the third mass system. So all these calculations are to be shown in the journal. So I have just shown the sample calculation of the first reading. So you will be doing the similar calculation for the remaining set of reading. So that's it for the calculations part in this spring mass system.